January 13, 1976. A cold Tuesday night in Lisle, Illinois, a quiet suburban town just 30 minutes west of Chicago. Streetlights flicker through a gentle snowfall, illuminating empty roads and shuttered homes. But beneath the stillness, something unspeakable is about to unfold. By morning, a 17-year-old girl's life would be taken, and her name, Pamela Maurer, would become the center of one of Illinois' longest unsolved murders. Pamela Maurer was a senior at Downers Grove South High School. Bright, kind-hearted, and dependable. The kind of daughter every parent dreams of. Friends described her as bubbly, helpful, always smiling. The type who'd go out of her way to make others laugh. That winter night, she was just doing something ordinary, visiting a friend's house to study and catch up. Around 10 p.m., she said goodbye, climbed into her 1973 Dodge Dart, and started the short drive home. A drive that should have taken 10 minutes, but she never arrived. The next morning, a passing motorist noticed something unusual along College Road, just outside Lisle. At first, he thought it was debris on the side of the road, until he stopped his car and saw a body. It was Pamela. Her car was later found about a mile away. The keys still inside, the driver's door unlocked. Investigators arrived quickly, cordoning off the scene, documenting every inch of the snow-dusted roadside. The town of Lisle, a peaceful community where crime was rare, was suddenly shaken to its core. Parents held their children closer. Teenagers who once felt safe driving at night began to fear the darkness. The DuPage County Sheriff's Office launched a full-scale investigation. Detectives interviewed Pamela's classmates, friends, neighbors, and anyone who might have seen her car that night. But the problem wasn't effort, it was evidence. In 1976, DNA technology didn't exist. Police relied on fingerprints, fibers, shoe prints, and witness statements. There were no cameras, no digital tracking, no cell phones. And while forensic teams found trace evidence, it wasn't enough to identify a killer. Leads dried up, rumors spread about strangers, about hitchhikers, about jealous classmates, but nothing solid ever surfaced. Pamela's case went cold. For decades, Pamela's murder haunted Lisle. Detectives retired, files were boxed and stored in dusty archives. Her family, heartbroken but resilient, never stopped hoping for answers. Every few years, the case would resurface. A new detective would pull it from the shelves, review the old photographs, the reports, the evidence bags. Each time, the same question echoed. Who killed Pamela Maurer? The evidence was kept, carefully sealed, waiting for the day science might finally catch up. Fast forward to 2020. 44 years had passed since that winter night, but something had changed. Technology. DNA analysis had revolutionized cold case investigations. Tiny samples once deemed useless could now tell stories. The DuPage County Sheriff's Cold Case Unit decided to reopen the file. They sent preserved biological evidence from Pamela's case to Boat Technology, a forensic laboratory known for its genetic genealogy work. When the results came back, detectives were stunned. The DNA matched one man, Bruce Lindahl. To most people, Bruce Lindahl seemed ordinary, even friendly. He was a mechanic who lived in Aurora, Illinois, just a few miles from where Pamela was found. He looked like any other guy from the neighborhood, clean-cut, sociable, even charming. But beneath that surface was a predator. Police records later revealed that Lindahl had been suspected in several sexual assaults throughout the late 1970s. He would lure women with friendliness, then attack them. But time after time, the evidence wasn't enough for a conviction. Witnesses backed out. Victims were too afraid to testify. Lindahl slipped through the cracks, over and over again. In April 1981, Lindahl targeted another victim, a young man named Charles Huber, just 18 years old. He had invited Huber to his home under friendly pretenses. But what happened next was violent and fatal. During the struggle, Lindahl attacked Huber, but in the chaos, he accidentally stabbed himself in the thigh. The wound severed an artery. By the time police arrived, both men were dead. The killer had died by his own hand, ending his life, but leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. At the time, no one connected Lindahl to Pamela Maurer. It would take 39 years and a strand of DNA to reveal the truth. The DNA from Pamela's case, perfectly preserved for decades, matched Lindahl's genetic profile exactly. But detectives didn't stop there. They compared the DNA to multiple crime scene samples and old reports. They re-interviewed witnesses from the 1970s. Piece by piece, the puzzle came together. Bruce Lindahl was officially confirmed as the man who had killed Pamela Maurer on that cold night in 1976. Detectives also found links to at least a dozen other assaults and disappearances in the area, suggesting Lindahl could have been a serial predator who operated under everyone's noses for years. After 44 long years, Pamela's case was finally solved. Her killer was dead, but the truth had surfaced, thanks to the perseverance of detectives and the power of science. Pamela's family was notified. There would be no trial, no courtroom justice, but there was finally an answer. For the Maurer family, closure came not in punishment, but in the knowledge that their daughter's story was not forgotten, and that after all these years, justice had quietly, finally, arrived. Pamela's case wasn't just about one girl. It represented a turning point in how we solve cold cases. DNA and genealogy have become the new detectives, tools that can reach across generations to identify killers long thought untouchable. In the years following her case, dozens of other cold cases across America were solved using the same methods, each one proving the same truth, that no crime, no matter how old, truly disappears. In the quiet town of Lisle, Illinois, the memory of a 17-year-old girl still lingers. Her laughter once echoed through high school halls, her future full of promise. But even in tragedy, Pamela Maurer's story reminds us that time doesn't bury the truth. It preserves it. And one day the truth will always rise.